Holy shit!
Hello, it's your favorite That 70s Show character in the building, back again with another video, and I had to say something about this because I saw it for like a day straight in my recommended, and I watched it the first time and I was like, you know what, this isn't a big deal, don't overreact to it, it's fine. Then I went back to the video again, and for some reason I was triggered when I watched it. Paul Joseph Watson. Where do I begin? For those of you who don't know, Eminem recently had a freestyle on the BET Awards where he literally goes at Trump majority of his freestyle, and that's it. It's entertaining only because of the discussion that he sparks during the freestyle, but other than that, it's nothing Eminem hasn't really done before. I mean, in the past, he's made comments on Trump just a year ago. So seeing something like this at the BET Awards, while it's something that's so important in news that's being covered literally every single day and force-fed down our throats, it's not surprising that this would be the topic of Eminem's discussion. However, Paul Joseph Watson has another approach. This entire video, he's basically coming down on Eminem for using the platform that he was given to talk about things that have been going on in the world recently, and making it seem like his comments and concern are somehow diminished because they've been said before. He starts off this video going at Eminem in the worst way possible by giving reference to Eminem's old satirical shock value lyrics.
Now that rapping about his girlfriend and calling people doesn't sell as many records.
If you're gonna reference Eminem's old lyrics as somehow a representation of who he is as a person, why wouldn't you reference Donald Trump's comments everywhere? It's like you're intentionally being blind here, or stabbing yourself in the eye so you don't have to see your contradiction.
Literally no other celebrity has said that about Trump.
Because other people have said this, Eminem can't say it too, as if him saying it makes it somehow less relevant. There's a lot that I could go at in this video, but I don't want to go on forever, so there are some key details and points that I would like to address, because this video gave me all the cancer in the world.
Oh, don't take my word for it. Here's the Huffington Post explaining how, before 2015, Trump was praised in no less than 67 major hip-hop songs.
Are you really this stupid? You're using them referencing Donald Trump's money as them somehow endorsing his ideas. How do you misconstrue these? The examples you give in your video literally prove my point.
Rappers love Donald Trump.
These artists were never in support of Trump. They only spoke on his revenue. What is one of the most important things that rappers tend to discuss? Money. Why wouldn't Donald Trump's name come up in that? You know who else's name came up in that? Bill Gates. You know who else's name came up in that? Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Brad Pitt, Tony Montana. Rappers will reference anyone with any kind of real substantial revenue. You telling me that they are in support of Trump simply because they said his name in a rap song is just... You make me want to eat paper.
Surely he's gonna bring something new, something different.
Why does he need to? What more does he have to say about the state of the country? What more could you say? It's like you're expecting something from someone that is literally impossible or is unnecessary. We need to talk about the stuff that Eminem is talking about. Maybe you don't care about it because it's been said before, or you want to further prove your point by trying to discredit everything that he said in his freestyle because it's been said before, but it's still a relevant issue.
Surely he's not just gonna call Donald Trump orange.
How disingenuous can you be? You know that this was a part of a lyric that he was spitting earlier in the same freestyle where he says the only thing he's fantastic for, as a reference to The Thing, because he immediately says after that it's how he gets his rocks off and he's orange. Not the best line I've ever heard from Eminem, but keep it in context, please.
Because he probably hung around with even more black people than you did.
The guy who's in a predominantly black industry. You're saying Donald Trump hung out with more of them than he did.
Trump at least has a plan.
How do you give someone praise for a plan that hasn't come into works yet? How?
The person who wanted a nuclear holocaust was Hillary Clinton.
How you miss Eminem's point in this regard baffles me. You do realize that he said his actions are likely to cause a nuclear holocaust. Not that he went into office wanting a nuclear war. Yeah, Hillary Clinton might have wanted nuclear warfare in the beginning. No one's arguing that. Eminem's point is to say that he will accidentally cause nuclear war because he's an ignorant president.
So brave! You can't be the dominant culture and the counterculture at the same time. That's not how it works.
Maybe, Paul, just maybe you just eliminate the whole culture thing in general and say, hey, I could be a mainstream artist and still talk about a main issue. To say you can't be the dominant culture and the counterculture at the same time is ridiculous when you're not necessarily trying to be a part of either culture. Can't you just say something that makes sense without being a part of one or the other? That's like saying because you're a person with a really large following, you can't say something that happens to be in defense of the left simply because you think it makes sense. I'm not left or right, by the way. I'm straightforward.
Where was your anti-war rage when Obama was simultaneously bombing 7 different countries?
Oh, you make it seem like we won't get to that point with Trump. He hasn't even been president a whole year yet. Give him time. He'll fuck some people up, I guarantee.
Yes, criticizing a black president just doesn't make commercial sense, does it?
Because there's been more than one black president.
Soon. I mean, it's not like he's literally got a new album coming out next month, is it? Oh look, he does!
Out of all the people in the world, and especially in the rap industry, the person I believe who would need a rap strategy or release strategy the least would be Eminem. You're making it seem like he didn't literally make an entire 7-minute diss track freestyle to Donald Trump last October when he didn't have anything coming out, or reference the exact same thing on Big Sean's track No Favors on Big Sean's album I Decided about the same thing. He didn't have an album coming out early this February. Could it be that maybe, although his freestyle wasn't the craziest thing I'd ever heard and he definitely tackled some cringy arguments, could it possibly be that he said, I am a Caucasian male who is about to use my platform to talk about an issue that doesn't primarily affect me, so that maybe other people might finally care about it? I'm not assuming that's his thought process, I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Sellout. You made your name by lampooning mindless, safe, dull pop culture. Now you're genuflecting in a desperate effort to become a central part of that same vapid pop culture.
Hurricane in Puerto Rico, our president focusing more on tweeting than actually helping Puerto Rico. Active acts of racism within the country. NFL players being fired, suspended, and silenced for their opinion, and you consider that pop culture. Not real issues. You say this is pop culture. Where do you live? I want to go there. I just want to have a conversation with you, because clearly you can't live on Earth with these ideas. How often do you think this way and like go to sleep and say, wow, that made a lot of sense, I'm gonna put that in the video? What are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not. That's just objectively terrible. That's bad.
Again, I don't wear the context. It's just you just miss it. You just like miss me with that because I don't need it. He literally says after that in his freestyle, but that's all I got until I come up with a plot. Acknowledging that the line he just said means absolutely nothing. Sure, you can easily criticize it. It's nothing that you shouldn't criticize, but he's aware of the fact that it's bad. You're making it seem like he doesn't know.
Putting on a fake southern accent to smear millions of ordinary Americans.
He's not trying to smear those southerners. He's trying to smear the rednecks, the racists.
I mean, go back to being a drug addict if it helps.
Okay, I agree with you. Just a little bit. Just sprinkle a little cocaine on your next donut, Eminem, and see if you don't get inspired. I'm just saying, it might shock you.
Oh, and your little Colin Kaepernick shout out. You know the guy, the one who literally supports communist dictators.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say, ever in life. What are you doing? Stop it. This photo does not exist to show Malcolm X in support of Fidel Castro. This photo exists to show the meeting place in Harlem where Fidel Castro and Malcolm X first met. Their first and only meeting. Malcolm X was using Fidel Castro in order to get back at his true enemy, which was at the time America. That doesn't mean that he was endorsing or agreeing with any of Fidel Castro's ideas simply because he met with him. He was using the influence Fidel Castro had over his own... Dog, what? Oh. He was using the influence Fidel Castro had on his own people to further support his own movement. He didn't want Fidel Castro because he wanted to be buddy-buddy with him. He wanted him simply for his numbers, hoping he could further aid him in his overall point. Further research will probably show you that Malcolm X tried to even get Fidel Castro into Islam. He wanted him for his influence, not for his ideas. Now, I'm not saying that's Colin Kaepernick's reason for wearing the shirt. Maybe he's ignorant of that, maybe he isn't, but you're also guilty of being ignorant of that. And I don't really know who you want to say he supports more, but I guess you could look at his fucking hat.
That was your line in the sand, Eminem, and there's no going back.
How much Vaseline do you need to jerk yourself as much as this guy seems to? What brand is he using so I can get some too? I'm thin so I can get in those tight places. Not all of them. When I see videos like this, I'm just like, you have a beard. You have scruff all over your face. You have the same Google as me. Why don't you just take the opportunity to say, let me do 5 minutes of research before I make this video? But no. You want to know why you didn't do that? Because you're not counterculture. You don't really care about your audience getting the real story. You care about them getting the narrative that you put out in your videos, and that's it. Trying to paint Eminem as this person who is almost dangerous when the extent of his criminal background is concealing weapons. Boy, I'm off this. I got way too much Vaseline to use today, and I got too many phone calls to make. Too many papers to write. I mean, this video was the equivalent of taking a newborn baby and just shitting on its chest and smearing the shit everywhere and then blaming the baby for smelling bad. So I guess this is my fault. Why did I do this to myself? It's Shawn C. Oh, it's Shawn C. And I'll see you. I'll see you next time. I already know what's going on.